morning. Oh, it is such a pleasure to be here with President Klein, Chairwoman Cooper, the Board of Trustees, the outstanding faculty and staff, proud parents, families, alumni, and friends, and the distinguished graduates of the class of 2011. Woo! Good morning. It is indeed a privilege to be with you, and indeed a very big responsibility. For weeks, I've been striving to find how to put just the right words together in a way perhaps you have never heard them before. Moving, inspiring, and worthy of vita abundantior, a life more abundant. The only comfort that I have found is that in reading, most graduates do not remember their commencement addresses. J.K. Rowling was speaking before Harvard and admitted she did not remember a single word. As for me, at my graduation, I remember only a few key things. The speaker was George H.W. Bush, who was vice president at the time, and his son Marvin was in my class. And yes, it was before you all were born. The vice president spoke for a few minutes, and then the microphone went out. There was a curse word. And then the microphone went out again. I think that may have been when we threw our caps. But all I really remember as I look back with my classmates is that the vice president had a great sense of humor and that we laughed. Today, however, the microphone, just fine. And while we won't share all the same memories, I bet you will remember this glorious day. What makes this commencement different from any that I have known, and perhaps different from any others taking place, is that I am standing before a group of students who 4 years ago began a journey with great determination, even in the face of not knowing exactly what the future would hold. And you, later accompanied by graduate students, remained committed to this institution, to the noble traditions of Randolph-Macon, and the brilliance of Randolph College. You have forged a path where no one yet has ever traveled, and you have done so with great dignity. It is indeed an honor for me to be with you, and I thank you, each and every one of you, for bringing all of us to this moment. Elie Wiesel, the Holocaust survivor, author, and Nobel laureate, once said that life is not measured in years, it is measured in moments. You know, those kind of moments that can lift you up or knock you down, but ultimately in the end, mold us into who we are. In 1985, I was working in a little NBC affiliate. I was newly married to a Navy pilot who had been chosen to be a flight instructor to Marine and Navy pilots in Meridian, Mississippi. On a warm evening in June of that year, he was conducting a night training mission. I was home. We lived in a small cottage on a lake, and at about 10 o'clock that night, there was a knock at the door. And standing there were several naval officers, and in the center, a chaplain dressed in white. And I knew. And in the hours and days and years that followed his death, I will tell you that my life, my perspective, my compassion, my courage, and my capacity to love would never be the same. It was a moment that changed the prism through which I saw and understood life. And as that prism turned, what became crystal clear to me is that our lives matter. Your lives matter. The life that you are holding in your hands right at this moment, for which you are fully responsible, matters. Your decisions, your gifts, your talents, and how you choose to share them with the world matters. I never expected to be here. I never expected to hold elected office. I never expected any kind of public life. I am a mom with an incredible husband who is my very best friend, and we have 3 amazing children. I was a businesswoman. I've been committed to education and literacy. I've worked in inner city housing for nearly 2 decades of my life. And I have had remarkable opportunities to work with students from this institution building habitat homes, planting gardens, reading to children, picking up a lot of trash, campaigning, canvassing, going door to door. As President Klein said, it was a student who graduated in 2010 who coined the phrase the Valentine Express on April 1st, 2009. I always wish I could change that date, but it did happen. And it was also a student who graduated in the class of 2009 who I hired to work in my district office, who heard a question posed to me so many times: how do you do what you do when you have 3 children? To which I've always responded, I do what I do because I have 3 children. Ara Friedman, who was the woman who worked with me, and she may be here today, she told me that she loved that. Is she here? Hi, Ara. She told me that she loved that answer, and the truth is, I live that answer, even today. Because the world we are leaving my children, the world that we are slowly placing into your hands, is facing significant challenges, and perhaps no one understands it better than you who are sitting here today. And perhaps no one has captured just how we got to this moment better than Thomas Friedman in a book he wrote, Hot, Flat, and Crowded, when he wrote, "For years, America grew its economy by borrowing money from China, using our children's future as collateral while depleting the world's resources. We have been living," this is a great quote, "we have been living on this planet as if we had another one to go to. We are still recovering from the greatest economic crisis since the Great Depression, and we are facing today unprecedented global competition. The issues before us are serious. There are no easy answers, but I do believe they deserve honest debate. And that is why you and the class of 2011 are so important. Already here at Randolph College, we have a group of students who've demonstrated you will make commitments and forge new paths. Journalists, politicians, pollsters, business leaders are trying to figure you and your generation out. And let me tell you what we've learned so far. You have been described as strong individuals who feel connected to the world and understand that the decisions you make here at home can affect people across the globe. Many articles have described your amazing ability to multitask. You can walk, talk, listen, type, and text all at the same time, although we as parents would love to unplug you occasionally. Governor Howard Dean, during his recent visit here last year, pointed out you were not single-issue voters, and many have acknowledged that your faith in God is expressed not only in words, but in service. You refuse to give your power away to a single news source, unless, of course, it's The Daily Show or The Colbert Report, which, from my personal experience, usually are viewed in tandem. You feel absolutely empowered to get your news from all over the world, including the sundial, and you do, and you are demanding the truth. The cliches, distortions, and innuendos that plague our political system are having a much harder time working on you because you are seeking honesty and leaders with integrity. Integrity, that elusive word that often gets caught between kindness and courage, and yet requires both. I believe Paul Wellstone, the late U.S. Senator from Minnesota, captured the essence of integrity with simple words. Integrity never separates the life you lead from the words you say. It represents a time when your word was your word, and that not only meant something, it meant everything. As many have said, including students sitting here today, integrity is not something you do, it is something you are. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a decision on how you live your life. It is a soldier's decision never to leave a wounded soldier on the battlefield, an elected official's decision to do what is right, not what is polled for the next election. It is the decision to use your words and faith to heal and to extend God's love, never to belittle, diminish, or divide. It is the decision never to betray a friend for one's own power or ambition. It is your decision when you sign the honor code, pledging to maintain the integrity of your word, respecting the rights of others, not only within, but also beyond the red brick wall. Integrity is a decision. Pearl S. Buck wrote, "You cannot make yourself feel something you do not feel, but you can make yourself do right in spite of your feelings." In 2009, when I announced that I would seek re-election, I made a pledge, as I had in my only other contested race, to run an open, honest campaign based on respect and my record and my achievements. I was committed to telling the truth. I had no desire, nor would I be persuaded to attack, to fabricate secrets, to distort facts, or my opponent's photograph. From my earliest days in political life, I had made the decision I wanted to be a new kind of leader. I wanted to reflect the character of this community. And perhaps the best way I can describe it to you is that in my small way, I wanted to live up to the standards that a Macon woman and a Macon man would hold up for themselves. I did not win that election, but I have won so much more. The past 18 months have been a time of great transformation for me. Doors have been opened that I never dreamed would be, and I have found a voice I never knew I had. The truth is, I never knew anyone was paying attention. I couldn't help but think of Atticus Finch when he spoke about his son. "Before Jim looks at anyone else, he looks at me, and I've tried to live so that I could look squarely back at him." I can look squarely back at my children. Yes, this was a moment in my life, but it is a moment I would not give back, because the lessons I have learned have nothing to do with an election and everything to do with telling the truth, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Understanding that the promise of our future, which you now hold in your hands, lies with those who believe that our strengths far outweigh our differences. And knowing that no matter how difficult the moment, how outrageous the lies, how vile the betrayal, or if you live in Lynchburg, how unbelievably they have drawn the district lines, we cannot give up. As Joe Biden's mom once said to her son, "Falling down is inevitable, giving up is unforgivable." Graduates of the class of 2011, your life matters. How you decide to live your life matters. You will fall down. Learn something while you're there. And then, with all the dignity and honor that is Randolph College, founded as Randolph-Macon Women's College in 1891, decide to begin anew. Congratulations, God bless you, and thank you.